Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you all so much for being here to celebrate my birthday a couple days early. I think the last few years we've done a live, it's been on my actual birthday because I think it's fallen on like a Friday, Saturday. This time it's a Sunday, and we got some plans, which we'll share later for my birthday. So we're happy to be doing this on Friday. So thank you, everyone, for joining us here and for hanging out. We're just laughing because I feel like always when we do these, like that little like intro plays and we're kind of sitting just kind of like chill, and then we have to really kind of come up like this, which is funny. But we'll welcome everyone here in the chat, and then we'll welcome our special guests who are waiting backstage, who everyone is so excited to see. I know it, so I'm so excited. Actually, let's just maybe bring them in first, because that's more fun. I'm like, why would we do that? Let's bring them in. Haley and Tommy.
Happy birthday, Brandon.
Happy birthday.
Guys, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Well, like anytime. I know. I feel like that I don't have like a birthday hat, but I should have, but I just have a normal hat, which is very fitting for me. You know what I mean?
Birthday hat.
We have a third guest that wanted to join for your birthday.
Oh, I love it.
There
Buck.
we go.
Agree.
There
We love it. I love that. Welcome, Buck. But thanks for being here, guys. We'll welcome everyone in the chat, and then we'll get this thing going and kind of talk about like what we're going to do here today. T Squiggle is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Kennedy is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Karen is here. And it's been so long since they can make a live. So yay. So glad that you're here, Karen. Thanks for being with us. Justine is here. Thank you so much for being here. Caden is here. Thank you, Caden, for being here. So is Raven. Welcome. Thanks for being here. McKenna is here. Llama Floof is here and says happy early birthday, King, which is great. Thank you, Llama Floof. Thanks for being here. Oh, happy birthday week, Karen. Thank you. I love that. That's a great idea. McKenna also happy birthday. Thank you so much. Caitlin is here and says, oh, I love this. As a cast member who is about to start my third college program, this is perfect. Wow.
Nice.
That's so fun. Congrats on your third college program. I'll be doing my second cultural exchange program this coming summer in like literally 2 weeks, which is crazy. Magical Castle's here. Thanks for being here, guys. We appreciate it so much. Kim is here as well. Thank you for being here. Terry is here. Thanks for being here. Courtney is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And says B-Day twins. Look at that. Twin on my birthday. Magical Castle is also going to make a birthday hat for next year. There we go. That's great. Love it. Brenda's here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And so is Tacey.
They should do the castle, the
birthday castle.
The cake castle.
Yeah.
Good idea.
People would like that.
Good idea. And Raven's first time making it to a live. Well, Raven, we are so glad that you could be here, and thanks for joining us. So we kind of thought, because again, which I feel like that I'm kind of hogging the spotlight here on our channel and on our podcast here for the last a couple of days, because on Monday's episode, which we'll touch on later of our podcast, will be all about me, and today's apparently all about me. So I just feel like I'm kind of hogging the spotlight. So I thought today what would be fun is we're going to do a bracket, and it's related to being a cast member, which is fitting for me as I'm leaving soon. We put like a new video out today about like my college program and stuff. So I thought that would be fun. So we'll kind of introduce what that is, and then we'll get things going. But of course, I got to share the screen, because who doesn't love a fun intro, right, Haley and Tommy?
When I was going to say, when we're backstage, when we're like waiting to come, we just like bop along, and I never know if you guys can see us back there or not, but we're just bopping.
We can see you.
Yeah, what did you do today? What did you do today this time? Heidi pointed at Tommy. Tommy was grooving, and Heidi pointed at him. Which is great. So here we go. So of course, what better way to celebrate my birthday than a bracket, which we love. This is also episode 49 of our live streams, which is crazy. And Haley and Tommy, like, they were on the first ever one.
Oh yeah.
So look at that. We're almost at 50. Throwing it back to one, which is crazy.
Episode 1 was also your birthday, no?
No, I think that was just like it was like we were gonna. Oh yes,
I
guess that was technically our first time going live. Was my birthday. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin also says that it's 24 days till my check, and I found out that I will be bell services at Disney's Riviera Resort. Wow, very cool. Yes, if I make it over there, I won't be staying there because that's not in my budget, but maybe get a coffee and stuff. Yeah, it would be so fun. Dreaming of Tomorrowland is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. And T Squiggle pulling out my rap name, saying we're all happy to celebrate Sunny B. Love it. Thanks, guys. So what I thought for the bracket here today is I have 32 Disney characters in this bracket, and they're all random. Some of my favorites, some random ones, also ones who I thought would either be a good cast member or not a good cast member, and we'll talk about it. We're going to vote. So, of course, all 4 of us will each have a vote, and every person in the chat will have a vote, and we're going to rank these characters or like put them through the bracket based on how good of a Disney World cast member we think that they could be. And there's a lot that could go into that, and I'm sure that we'll touch on it and talk about it, but I'm excited. Are we all ready to do this? It's a thumbs up. I think it'll be fun. I think this has lots of room for like interpretation, which will be great. And I hope there are some in here that make people laugh, because I added some I think that are just like would be so bad, but I had to put them in because it'd be so funny. Austin is here. Welcome as well. Thanks for being here, Austin. And Madison is here. Hope to run into you on our trip in July. I would love that. You know where to find me. Hollywood Studios with a big old hat on, standing on one of the streets somewhere. All right. We're going to get this thing going with our first matchup. And the first matchup is going to be the Genie versus Scar. What do we think, Heidi?
What do I think?
I don't know. Why not?
I think this is a tough matchup for Scar. Yeah, I don't think that's. I think Scar would be a bit upset all the time. Don't think that's really the Disney vibes.
Well, realistically, do you think he would have been good against anybody? Probably not.
No, you're right.
I think that he, like, his whole mantra of like, I'm surrounded by idiots would just be the whole day. He would just not have a good time, I don't think, with a lot of guests, which is very unfortunate.
I know he could work at Tower.
Maybe, I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He could be something. I just think that this is a tough matchup. Haley and Tommy, what about you guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Scar definitely got a tough break here, but like you said, I don't really know that he would be great against anyone. I don't even know that he would be hired because he just does not encapsulate what a cast member is very well. He's very grumpy. And I feel like even if he worked at Tower, he would end up sending people like out the door or something, like not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, maybe you could find a good role for him, like where you like need to like bring in the bad guy, like if like someone's being like too unwieldy or something like that, and you need to bring in someone who's like serious and their job is to be stern. But even still, Scar is probably a little bit too intense even for that. So I don't know if he had a good draw against anybody.
Maybe just like, you know, at the Rise of the Resistance when they have you like keep moving after the story.
Yeah, he could do something like that.
Yeah. I think he's probably more fit for like a backstage role also, maybe, if he was a cast member for sure. Cynthia's here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. T Squiggle also says, I saw you used your rapper name for a breakout room or some activity. Oh, yes. This was at, what's that place called? Activate.
Oh, yeah. Mine was my literal name.
Because yours was already set from before.
Mine was set from like a year ago.
But I definitely had to use mine, which was so fun. A lot of votes for the Genie, which is very understandable. Caitlin, Madison, Tacey, Kennedy, and Cynthia are all voting for the Genie. So is Courtney and Anna and Elaine. Kim, Caitlin says that Scar would match energies with all of the difficult guests. There you go. Terry votes for the Genie. Caden says, got to be honest, the Genie, he'd make magical moments all day, and Scar would get a safety reprimand within hours for sure. I agree. Karen also says the Genie for sure. Scar could be good at Haunted Mansion or Tower. And I'm glad that Llama Floof noticed. I thought, like, I wanted to put this in to see if anybody would notice.
Brandon spent the whole afternoon doing this. That's why
because this is that's more right.
Nice
this is funny. Some of them will be even more funny. But T Squiggle's voting for the Genie. So is Raven and Justine, and Tyler is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Is also voting for the Genie, which I think that he'll be maybe tough to beat, but I think maybe later on there'll be some that we can kind of break it down more. But like Caden said, I think he would just make so many magical moments. So the Genie is moving on. Next up, Remy versus Wally. Again, these are all random. This is all just randomly stuck in, so I didn't pick any of these.
I feel like this one is a hard matchup because they're both would be great at their roles.
Yep.
Like Remy would be in food services and Wally would be in like janitorial, like sanitation. And so I think this is hard. Honestly, I thought I was going to go Remy because he can talk, but I think I'm going to go Wally because he will just any trash, like, you know how like now people are like, the magic is gone. There was one piece of trash.
Yeah.
I think that he would just make that would never happen anymore because he'd just walk around and make little cubes and then keep it moving.
Yeah, I started this as like a blowout for Remy because I was kind of thinking like Wally, like great morale, like really high energy, really wants to do a good job, but I don't know how well he would take instruction for a variety of tasks.
Yep.
But if you just have him working like custodial or whatever, he would be great. So I think I've switched all the way around and I'm going Wally and just let him do his own thing and he'll take care of it, be happy as a clam, and he'll probably make some magic along the way too. So it's like a 2-for-1.
And he doesn't even need a lunch break. He's a
he doesn't need a
robot.
lunch break.
No.
Yeah. He can live in the parking lot or something. Like he's a low maintenance employee.
What about you, Heidi?
I also want to pick Wally because I think that he'd be so cute too. Like he'd be doing his job and people would like to see him, and then he'd be like waving to them and stuff. Like I think he'd love that. I feel like he should be custodial at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
The vibes.
I honestly totally didn't even think about that, Haley, until you brought it up, and I was like, oh, like I put him in here for good reason, clearly, because this is like so perfect. I think that is so, because I was so Remy before you even spoke, and now I'm so Wally. I like obviously think that both would be so good at their role, but I do think that Wally would just be like, it would just be such a dream for that coordinator or like whatever leader being like, oh, good, Wally's on shift today. We got this.
Really?
I don't have to worry about Wally.
Yeah.
I don't got to worry about anything. You know what I mean?
Who's in today? Oh, it's Wally. All right, cool.
And like Heidi said, like just like he's so cute. I feel like he would just do trash and like hold someone's hand and then keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be so good. I also think petition to get him in the park somehow for real as like a animatronic
they could.
character. They should. I think that'd be so fun. So my vote clearly for him. This one's tough though. And we'll see what everyone else has to say. Look, Haley's changing votes already. I can see that. That's so funny.
Oh, wait.
All right. There we go. The name tags were quite the touch. Says Caitlin, and Llama Floof appreciates the work. Thank you, Llama Floof. I appreciate it. Madison votes for Remy. Tacey votes for Wally. Tyler says happy birthday. Thank you so much. Tyler, Cynthia votes for Remy. So does Kennedy and Caden. Magical Castle votes for Remy. Caitlin says this one would be tough. Yes, and is already planning out those roles. Llama Floof. See, Haley makes a great point. Justine votes for Remy. Raven votes for Wally. So does Kim and Terry and Karen, all voting for Wally. Llama Floof says, imagine Wally as a janitor. Very fun.
Not bad, yeah.
Love it.
Is that Llama Floof's vote?
I'm sure it is Llama Floof's vote because maybe I missed it, but maybe it's not. Who knows? Okay. Tyler votes for Wally. Caitlin also votes for Wally. T Squiggle says this one is tough. I do love Remy, though. If we're being realistic and overanalyzing this, there would probably be the bad people who would mess with Wally. It's true. Karen says that Haley's comments made her change her choice. And this Wednesday, but this is not Wednesday. This is Kirsten, right? Am I wrong?
Looks like Kirsten.
It looks like her, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a new person with the same photo named Wednesday. Who knows? But let us know, Kirsten, if that is you. But who's our winner, Heidi, for this round?
It's Wally.
Wally. This honestly, when I saw this after doing it, like I thought that it'd be easily Remy, but it's Haley. You're changing people's votes.
I'm glad I just started talking right away.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, Remy, easy.
Yeah. Love it. Wally. Moving on. Next up, Hades versus Donald Duck. Both kind of hotheads a little bit.
This is sneaky really hard. This is really hard.
Yeah. I think that Donald probably gets more easily annoyed, but I think could be nicer though if he wanted to be. That's where I'm kind of struggling. I don't know if anybody has any like quick initial thoughts, but that's kind of where I'm at.
It's definitely a temper control comparison, but I think that like Donald like might lose it quicker, but he'd get it under control quicker. Where like if Hades loses his temper, it's like over. He's gonna go like on a rampage and get fired. So I think it's Donald just because you can kind of get him to toe the line a little bit, and you'll occasionally just have to pull him to the side and be like, hey, listen, Donald, you got to take it easy, man.
Yeah, I think Hades can do more destruction, which I think is bad. But if we're going from like has to like interact with guests, Donald is really hard to understand. Depending on what your role is, like I don't know if he could like give directions. He definitely can't give you the safety to-dos because you can't understand him.
That's true.
But I do think Hades could just really ruin things. But Hades is also funny, so I'm gonna go with Hades.
Okay. What about you, Heidi? Is this one tough?
Yeah, I'll go with Donald, but I don't really know why.
I think that this is also, this is hard. I think that both of you guys over there made really good points. I think that the like understanding Donald is like a very big thing, I think, which is very funny. And I do think that Hades could crack some jokes and stuff, but I think that he would be like very, like also kind of like a Scar where he's like easily annoyed also. But I think I'm going to pick Hades because I think Donald would be the type to give someone some directions and they don't understand. And then he gets angry at them for not understanding him, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pick Hades as well. So we're split over here. We'll see what everyone else has to say. People love Donald, so maybe they're just going to go for the Donald vote. We will see. Also, see, it is Kirsten. They changed their name for another live. Love it. Knew it. Magical Castle votes for Donald. So does Justine. Karen votes for Donald. He just makes everyone happy. Kim and T Squiggle voting for Donnie. Kay votes for Donald. So does Kaden and Raven. Caitlin votes for Donald. Tacey says, I don't think Donald could handle working for Mickey. Definitely Hades.
That's true.
Very funny. Justine says he's seen it all with his nephews. Love it. Kennedy votes for Donald. So does Cynthia and Tyler. Terry says Hades, you can understand him. Llama Fluve says that Hades could be a great addition to the Haunted Mansion crew. Yes, and adds every villain to Haunted Mansion or Tower. Yes. Kirsten votes for Donald. So Donald is moving on. People love them some Donald. So he'll move on to the next round. Next up is Mary Poppins versus Ember from Elemental. And I put her on here because she has experience owning a shop and retail experience. And Mary Poppins is good with kids. So I don't know which way that we want to go here. Any like initial thoughts?
I think my gut goes Ember just because I feel like Mary Poppins is sneaky kind of a wild card. Like I feel like you'd put her in charge of like a group of kids like at the hotel. And it's like, all right, Mary, like we'll be back in an hour. And then you check back and they're just like gone. Like they're just like on an adventure.
In the bathtub.
Yeah, it's like, well, what happened? Like, where'd you take all these kids? And she like they're fine, like they're under control. But she's kind of just doing her own thing. Where I feel like Ember would toe the line, keep like a store in order, make sure that the shelves are stocked, the merchandise is facing the right direction, make sure that it's a tight ship. So I'm gonna go Ember, but I think that one's kind of tough too.
But I think you can't put Ember in charge of everything because she physically can't touch all of it. So I think that's tough. You can't really put her in a shop; she'll burn it all up. So I have to go Mary Poppins because I think that's a good thing. I think if you put her in charge of like a kids camp, like she would turn like the pool into like it would feel like the ocean for them the way she does when they fall into the bathtub, and then it's like. Because that's really, they're just taking a bath in that movie, but it's like so fun.
What about you? Not sure.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this is hard because I think that, like, obviously that Ember has that experience, but she also, like, is kind of a hothead also. She gets kind of angry and then doesn't she really, like, burn up, I think, or something, right? And then, like, I love how Tommy said that Mary does give the vibe that she would just totally lose people.
She's gonna do her own thing,
But you always come back safe.
100%. No, 100%.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Mary. I think that she could have some fun stuff in that bag to keep kids entertained. I think that she's for sure like a resort activities gal, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll pick Mary because I would like to hang out with her.
You'd want to be one of those kids?
Handles adults well, too.
Well, yeah, that would be. You just need to get the Walt Disney World adults on board, and I think it would be all right. But those can be hard to please sometimes.
Yeah,
I feel like Mary would be the type where like the leaders and coordinators kind of don't like her because they're like kind of scared of her, but then she does a good job, so no one can say anything to her.
This is so funny to me. I love this. Oh, there's a good comment here, which I think also could be true for Magical Castle that I'll pull up here, that she would excel in guest relations. I agree. I think she'd be great at that. Let's see what everyone else has to say. Tyler votes for Mary Poppins. Also, Kirsten is back. Look at that. Sorry, making a comeback. Caitlin says Mary Poppins, a super classic character and one of my favorites. Tacey votes for Mary Poppins. So does Magical Castle and Kennedy and Cynthia and Kay and Kim. Lots of votes for good old Mary. Kirsten votes for Mary. So does Raven and Kaden and Justine. And then Caitlin says that she'd be great as a character attendant or I'm in children's activities. Karen votes for Mary Poppins. So does Terry, and so does T Squiggle.
at that comment.
Oh,
I'm really tired today.
we are. She'd be great to drop the kids off with, and then parents can go have a little kid-free fun. Yes.
Well, I was also just thinking that, like, if somebody like spills their something or breaks their toy, she just reaches into her bag and has another one to give it to them.
Quick fix, yeah.
We're going through it over here. We're like,
I'm gonna choke.
You're making me laugh, Heidi. Okay.
Oh, I'm so warm.
Pull ourselves together. Mary Poppins is moving on. Next up, Edna Mode. Tommy can do the impression better than I can.
Oh, yeah.
Edna Mode.
Versus Bashful.
I love Bashful.
I think that they are two like polar opposite people here.
Yeah, well, what is Bashful gonna do, right? Like Bashful has to be kind of like a back of the house sort of position where I don't know, like you put Edna in charge of costuming for all the parks. I feel like that's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
That's good.
Or I think any managerial position.
Yeah. She knows how to deal with, big egos, so she's like kind of a good people manager. Or Bashful, like I don't know, you can't interact with guests.
And she just cuts the nonsense. Like when she's like, no cake. Like she'll just tell you what it is, and then that's the end.
Yeah, this like I love this little picture of her because it seems like this is her like employee of the month photo in the back somewhere.
The name tag fits so well.
Yeah, it does. It fits right on. Yeah.
She'd be the one that when like a door opens and you see nobody there, you know she's coming to like cause some havoc here and put some people in line. She's easily my choice. I think she'd be so good, and I totally didn't even think of the costuming thing, but that is like a total good fit. Like you said, Haley, any like managerial type of thing she'd be great at. But shout out to Bashful because he's cute, but I think he would be so easily like if any guest said you're doing a great job, he'd be done for the day.
But I think that like you could just like deploy him when somebody's really upset. Like if you have a really angry guest, just deploy Bashful and he just looks at them and then they just melt a little bit.
That's true. All right. I think that it's going to be a lot of Edna. But starting us off with a vote for Bashful from Tacey. Caden says Edna. She'd kill it in costuming. Cynthia votes Edna. So does Magical Castle and Kim and Kay and Tyler. I also love this, that she knows that safety begins with me. Very true. She does know that. Raven votes for Edna. So does Caitlin. She'd be great in costuming to create more comfortable costumes. I love it. Very true. Terry says has to be Edna. Bashful, I would be shy to talk to anyone. Karen says Edna. My daughter said she'd be great at creating costumes. Kirsten votes for Edna, and T Squiggle says I love Bashful. So do you. What did you say today about Bashful that you love? What?
In the parade.
Yeah. Every time those little dwarfs come around.
Like this with his
they're so cute.
Beard.
But clearly Edna, she's made to work at Disney, so she is moving on to the next round. Next up, we have Scrooge McDuck versus Nana. I just want to say that Scrooge would be the one who's trying to upsell everybody and add on a bunch of different items per transaction for sure. Whereas Nana is just like, she's so sweet. She would do anything, I feel,
Yeah, let Nana sort of run the other group of like kids from Mary Poppins. Just put Mary Poppins and Nana on the case.
She'll have the littles, like the toddlers and
exactly.
the infants.
Put them based on age, and then you're sorted. Yeah, I don't know. Scrooge McDuck, I feel like all he ever is just rich. Like they never even show you how he gets rich. He's just like a rich, miserly type all the time. It's not like he has any like discernible skills other than being cheap. So I don't know.
Yeah, but he would make Disney would love him. He'd make him a ton of money.
More likely cast member, probably Scrooge McDuck. Yeah.
He would like take apart all the things and then try and sell them separately. Like he would take apart, like I don't know, take the batteries out, try to sell them.
Pick the salt off of a Mickey pretzel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love this one. That Genie Plus is now $1,000 a day.
I think Nana would be perfect in like a baby center. Like where like they have the baby centers, all this stuff. I think that would be the perfect job for her. So I have to go Nana.
Agree. Yeah, I'm going Nana.
This is also so funny to me that Scrooge would put people's merch in the reusable bags and make them pay for it without taking them. So true. This is so funny. I'm also going to pick Nana. I love Nana. She's one of my like underrated Disney favorites. I think she's just like so sweet. I love like all of her scenes when she's like carrying stuff and she's like she has like that bottle pouring stuff and she's grabbing toys. Like she can just do so many things. So it's got to be Nana.
I agree.
You too?
She's a hard worker.
She really is. She really is.
Make her sleep outside. She would at least have better accommodations at Disney.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, she'd love it at Flamingo Crossing, that's for sure. Tacy is voting for Nana. She'd be the best security dog. Kay says Nana all the way. So does Kim. Tyler thinks that Nana would be a great character attendant. Very true. She'd be great. Caden votes for Nana. She'd be a great park greeter. Justine and Karen and Magical Castle all vote for Nana. T Squiggle says, poor Nana, but poor father. She for sure gets my vote. Yes, she's so sweet. Kirsten votes for Scrooge. I love it. And Terry votes for Nana. I just love her little name tag also fits right on her collar. It's so perfect for her. So Nana is moving on. Also, Kennedy votes for Nana as well. So Nana is moving on. Next up, we have Mater versus Tigger.
Oh boy.
Tough one.
Yeah, this is like battle of the unreliables a little bit.
No way. I think Mater gets a bad rap. He actually pulls through in everything, and he's low-key good at things. He just seems like he's not because of his accent. I vote Mater because Tigger will get you in trouble.
Tigger cannot be trusted under any
Correct.
circumstances. So I think I have to go Mater by default.
And Mater can be trusted. Lightning puts a lot of trust in him later.
That's true.
That's true. Do we think that he'd be good at parking? Like he'd be showing you where to
Oh
park
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good role for
or
him.
something? Maybe, I don't know.
Or a grader.
Yeah, he would. Well, he could drive backwards
Yeah.
to show you to where you have to park.
Which I think is also very needed at Disney World. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
People
true.
can't park. I also think that Tigger, has high energy, but he just is a little too much, I think, to be working at Disney World. I think that he just, like you guys said, he's not the most. Yeah, I don't know. He just like doesn't give me the vibes, you know? What do
Yeah,
you
I'm
think?
trying to think of a role that would suit him.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't know.
Oh, I know where he could be. You know the Disney Junior Dance Party, like the
Oh, yeah.
DJs in there. That's where he would.
He'd
have
be
to
all right. Yeah, he'd be all right with that.
That's true. But I'm gonna vote for Mater because I think he'd be good at parking, or like you said, he'd be like a great happy person to greet you in the morning. You know, he'd be great. I like those little touch points.
Or I know another one. He can point people to the parade.
Yeah, with his little tire going.
Yeah.
True. I like it. A lot of votes for Mater, I think, here so far. Magical Castle votes for Mater, so does Cynthia. Kennedy says he can even do his job backwards. He can. Olivia, welcome. Thanks for being here. Votes for Mater. Tacy votes for Mater. He's a hard worker. Look how quickly he became a lawyer and a spy.
That's true.
Very funny. Kirsten votes for Mater, so does Caden. T Squiggle says he'd be such a hoot. He really would. Kim votes Mater, so does Kay. Oh, this is also true. Llama Flu says that Tigger would slack off and just ride rides all day. I agree.
He can't be trusted. Yeah, he can't be trusted.
Tyler votes for Tigger. Terry and Gage, welcome. Thanks for being here. Votes for Mater. Karen says that Mater could be good at the Speedway. And then we have a vote for Tigger from Justine. So Mater is moving on to the next round. Next up, Judy Hopps versus Timon and Pumba, because I feel like they're a package deal, which they'd have to be every shift together, which is kind of a problem. But I don't know what you guys think.
Well,
I think this one's hard because they're such different roles.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of gonna say as well. Yeah.
My gut reaction was to go Timon and Pumbaa as skippers. I think they were awesome.
Yeah.
But then Judy's so serious. She really could lead security, and she'd have people up in that Disney jail. She is getting them in there.
Yeah, Judy is a hard worker and good at her job, obviously. But I think Timon and Pumbaa just bring a little bit of extra, a little bit of something. Whether they are skippers or whether they're, I don't know, they do the laugh floor or something.
Yeah.
I feel like you could get more out of Timon and Pumbaa, where Judy Hopps would just be a very good security personnel. So I'm gonna go Timon and Pumbaa, I think.
Yeah, this one's hard, I think, for me, because I think that, obviously, I love both of these. I do love Judy, more, but I do think that Timon and Pumbaa kind of do have a little, I don't know, something about them where they could really fit in, a lot of things, and I think that they could really, change, the vibe of anything that they're put in. I do think, though, that Judy would just be, like absolutely perfect in her role, which would be security. So I'm gonna vote for Judy because I think she just is like, again, like if I think of like a model like Disney security employee, she's the one. Like she's a hard worker. Yeah, would do such a good job. So it's got to be Judy for me.
I'm also gonna vote for Judy because I think that she's very passionate about her work, and so
true.
she'd probably be passionate about being a cast member.
There we go. Oh, this is a really good role for Timon and Pumba, which will come up here later, which I'll pull it up, I guess, now, is a VIP tour guide. They'd be pretty fun at that, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like they give the same energy as Tigger without the unreliability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true. And they're like the narrators in Lion King 1.5 or whatever, so they've got experience presenting. So I think that's a good fit.
Where am I at here? Justine votes for Judy. Tacey votes for Timon and Pumba. Kay and Gage and Tyler all vote for Judy. Karen votes for Judy. She'd be great security leader. This is good. The historians in the Frozen show.
Oh yeah.
Very funny.
They would dress Timon up like the girl, or Pumba up like the girl, and it would just be the two of them.
For sure. Kirsten also votes for them because they're more fun. Caden says them as well. They'd be great entertainment. Kim votes for Timon and Pumba. Magical Castle votes for Judy. There we go. Kennedy votes for Judy. No umbrellas are getting through her scanner unchecked. That is so true. T Squiggle, like I said, votes for Timon and Pumba. So it is Cynthia, and then Olivia and Terry vote for Judy.
I feel like that was close.
Very close.
Very close. If there's any last minute votes, I'll wait a second because sometimes it's a little bit delayed. I also love this comment earlier, which I think that I missed, but T Squiggle said, "Can Mater just tow me through the speedway?" Probably could.
In the speedway,
it'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, way more fun. Which I'm excited, hopefully, to try the one out in Disneyland, which I don't even know if I can fit in, which probably not. But you guys said that it's like even better.
It's just big and open.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So I guess that we'll call it here.
Yep.
And Judy wins by 1 vote.
Wow.
Wow, crazy.
That was probably, I think, the hardest one so far.
It was
for like 2 good options. There were some 2 bad options that were tough, but both of these were good options.
And it's also only fitting that Mr. Jason is here and would say,
there
Judy.
we go.
Beautiful. Judy is moving on. Next up, we have round 2 on this side, and that is the Genie versus Wally.
I know mine.
Yeah, I think I do too.
I'm sticking with Wally.
Me too. I just think that he is like literally like designed to do a job, and that job is like an important job at the Disney parks. I think he's a perfect fit.
Because I think that the Genie would create a lot of magical moments, but you can't do them all the time or they're not magical.
And he would do like the spooky like dead person thing, or like he'd go a little bit too far with one of his bits, and then like a kid would be crying, and it'd be like a whole thing, even though he was just trying to have fun.
He doesn't really know boundaries.
Yeah, he can push it a little bit too far. So yeah, I'm gonna go Wally.
This is hard for me because obviously everybody knows that I love the Genie, but I am so sold on this Wally as a thanks to Haley as yes, custodial, because he's just great. I think he'd be great. I do think that Genie would be great, but I think, like you said, Haley, I think that like he'd be the one who then like the leaders would say, okay, bud, like you're kind of like overdoing it where it's not kind of special anymore. So I do think that Wally is my choice. I think he'd be so great and so awesome.
That's crazy.
I know. I just think that you've like turned me. Like, yeah, he's like our darling of the bracket, I think, right now, Wally. We'll see what everyone else has to say, though. This one looks kind of close based on first glance. So we will see. Gage votes for Genie. Tacey votes for Wally. So does Kennedy. Kay and Cynthia both vote for the Genie. Kim votes for Wally. Magical Castle votes for Genie. Tyler and Olivia vote for Wally. Lama Floof votes for Wally, would be the unspoken hero of Walt Disney World. Caden says that Genie would abolish Genie Plus for using his likeness and bring back free fast passes. There we go. Karen votes for the Genie, all the magical moments and laughter and the crowds at Fantasmic. Love it. T Squiggle votes for Wally, such an adorable little hard worker. I think it'd be fun if he was a waiter, though. There you go. Kirsten votes for Wally, so does Terry votes for Genie for the last, but says that Wally would be efficient. Alyssa is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Votes for the Genie. And Steve is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it, Steve, so much as always. Who's our winner, Heidi, of this round?
Wally.
Whoa.
Wow.
Kind of stunned by that, not gonna lie, but it makes all sense now to me. So Wally is moving on. Next up, Donald versus children's activities, Mary Poppins.
I think Mary has to take this one.
Yeah, it's Mary Poppins. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Donald had too many against him, and Mary didn't really have any.
Yeah. There's just not really, like, I think that Donald's one of those, I think, again, like when you look at him, you're like, oh, he'd be great because he's sweet and stuff. But then there are just way too many things where it's just like.
He would have to just drive the ferry boat and then just not talk to anybody.
Yeah, because he'd be good like 80% of the time in any other role. But then like that 20% of the time where, someone can't understand him and he has to repeat himself, his face would go all red and steam would come out of his ears and he'd be like jammering away. So
he'd like throw their stuff in the water or something.
Yeah, something crazy.
Sure. Yeah. And I just think that Mary, again, she'd be great at lots of things. I think that she'd be good also, like if people are getting kind of rowdy, she could kind of make people, like straighten up and focus up. So I think it's got to be Mary. For me, we'll see what the chat has to say. I see a lot of Mary here so far. Cynthia votes for Mary. So does Kennedy and Tacey and Magical Castle as well. Karen and Gage also vote for Mary Poppins. Alyssa and Kay and Terry are voting for Mary as well. Kirsten votes for Donald. Caden and T Squiggle and Tyler all vote for Mary. Love it. She'd be great. Like, I do think that in this photo she looks kind of serious, but maybe she's kind of staring at a guest who's misbehaving and she's just looking at them,
Trying to get him in order.
Have to give him a spoonful of sugar.
Good one. Mary is moving on, and Kim also voted for Mary as well. Next up, Edna Mode versus Nana.
I gotta go Edna. She looks like an employee so much. Like you said, like this does look like her employee photo.
Yeah.
Like she already works there.
Yeah, I'm going Edna. She just brings more to the table, I think. I think Nana would do a fine job. I think Nana's a very good dog, but I think Edna Mode is just a more versatile, impactful cast member.
This is just hilarious because when I look at this picture, all I picture is that she's doing like a TED talk of how she worked at Disney and climbing the ladder or something. And this is like her photo when she comes out to the TED talk or something.
Yeah, how she went from costumes to CEO.
Yeah, or like senior vice president or whatever,
Yeah, she would just be so good. I think that it's like this whole thing about it just kind of sells me. I think that she could do costuming, but then she'd be so good. Like, yeah, this is just like a tough one for Nana because Nana's great, but I just think she's not as great of a fit as Edna for sure. Yeah. You laughing? Why?
Because of Steve's comment.
Oh, where's Steve?
Classic
Oh, yeah.
employee.
Classic employee look. It really is. It really is. She just looks like that. Like, and I love the position that I put the name tag because it just fits her perfectly. So funny. Where am I at here? And I think that Edna is going to probably easily take this one, so we can say it at the end if you know what I'm going to say. Do you know what I'm going to say? You'll know once Edna easily takes this away from Nana. Come on, Heidi. What am I going to say? Just wait. Kennedy votes Edna. So does Kay and Cynthia. Yes, they do.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Tacey and Kim vote for Nana. Alyssa votes Edna. So does Steve and Magical Castle and Caden. It says, imagine her teaching some traditions. She'd be very scary. I would be afraid of her teaching that class. Tyler votes Edna. Kirsten votes Edna. So does Terry and Gage. T Squiggle's going to stick with Nana. And Karen is going to go Edna. So what do we say now that Nana's leaving?
Something.
Oh, poor Nana.
Oh.
I thought it was something to do with Edna. I didn't think it.
No.
I said something, darling.
No. I'm really laughing, but it wasn't that funny, but it was funny in my head. So Edna Mode is moving on. I think this will be tough as we go. Next up, we got Mr. Mater versus Judy Hopps. You stick and changing?
My heart goes to Mater, but the job goes to Judy.
100%.
I think Mater would do an underrated job.
You do?
Yeah.
I just think that like Judy has a very seamless like role and fit. I think that Mater is more of like a wild card where you don't know where to put him.
But I feel like he would do a good job. Like he would try hard, and he's sweet.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he would connect with guests.
So you want to go for Mater?
Yeah.
All right. What about you guys? Judy?
Yeah, which is hard. Could you imagine Mater's like a VIP tour guide?
Yeah, he'd be good. He'd be funny.
VIP tour ever.
Yeah, you wouldn't learn a thing. But
I think you would. He knows a lot. Yes, he does.
Well,
you guys need to watch Cars though before you talk to me about any of it.
Maybe, I don't know.
I was gonna say because I never
boy up a little bit.
Gassing.
Yeah.
I never knew that he was a lawyer.
Oh yeah, that's not in the first one.
I knew he was a secret agent, but
me too. I knew that one. I'm gonna vote for Judy in this one. I do think that Mater could be good in a role, but like I said, that I just think that Judy fits perfect in like a security role. She'd be so good at it, and Disney loves people that are like super passionate, want to do their job well, and I just think that would be a Judy. So
and I think she would be fine in any job that wasn't like purely entertainment.
Yeah,
because she's so serious.
Yeah, she takes it so seriously. Yeah,
I agree.
She has experience with food services and stuff like that.
True.
So,
Kay votes for Mater. Yes, they both voted for Judy. So did I, and you got Mater. So Kay votes Mater. So does Tacey and Kennedy and Gage and Kim. All vote for Mater. Cynthia votes for Judy. Magical Castle votes for Mater. Steve votes for Judy because Mater would lose someone's kid. Terry votes for Mater. Alyssa votes for Mater. Llama Floof says Judy. Her work ethic is unmatched. Kirsten votes for Mater. Caden votes Mater. He could do a good job at Bell Services. Tyler votes for Judy. So does Mr. Jason. And T Squiggle votes for Mater.
That was way more Mater votes than I thought was going to come.
Yeah,
me too. And that means that Mater is moving on.
Wow.
My boy.
Wow. I'm kind of shocked. People love Mater though a lot. Next up, Wally versus Miss Mary.
Wally.
Yeah, I'm like I'm all in on Wally. I'm so in on him.
Yeah, I'm going Wally.
I'm wavering a little bit because you could put Mary Poppins like in front of like a problem and she could like solve it. Mm-hmm. She could figure it out if like someone's like upset or there's like an issue. Where Wally just kind of like you let him free and just let him pick up trash. But he's so good at doing that I'm gonna go Wally for at least one more round.
I think that's like the most fun part of this bracket and why it's so hard is because you really like there's so many different jobs as a cast member that you have to like you can't put them in the same like they would never do the same job.
No, yeah.
You have to think of who would be better at their given job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only thing I think for Wally is that he can't really communicate, which
he's like pretty nonverbal. Yeah,
is hard. But I do think, like you said, like in custodial, like obviously people come up and talk to you and stuff. But Caden brought this up that I think he would be like even good at like a merch stalker, like or something where he can just really do something like efficiently. Yeah. This is so hard. I feel like that I will vote for Wally this time, but if he goes up against who I think he will, like after this, I think that I'm gonna have to swap. But I do think this one's way closer than I maybe think in my head. But I'll still go Wally because I do think that he would be really, really good at his role. What about you?
Yep, I think I already said it.
You did already say. Sorry. All right. Kennedy kicking us off with a vote for Wally. Tacey votes for Wally as well. Magical Castle votes for Mary. Kim and Tyler vote for Wally. Justine votes for Mary. Steve says Mary, the perfect supervisor. Kay votes for Wally. Caden votes for Wally.
Did she say switching? Oh, no, that she didn't vote earlier, right? No. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Jason, look, Mr. Jason's upset. Seriously, Mater over Judy, feeling Llama Floof level of outrage. Oh no. Kirsten votes for Wally without a doubt. Terry votes for Mary. Karen votes for Mary. My daughter yelled at me, no, don't do it. So I better say Wally. There you go. The daughter with the influence. T Squiggle votes for Wally. And Gage votes for Wally. Wally moving on. I honestly didn't think he'd make it far, but this whole Haley's little comment from the beginning has really, I think, swayed people, which I appreciate. And Llama Floof also votes for Wally. It makes sense. It's good logic. So Wally is moving on. Next up, Edna Mode versus Mater. Gotta be Edna Mode.
Yeah,
it's Edna Mode,
Edna.
yeah. Edna Mode would be like Mater's manager. Like,
yeah.
What about you? Sticking to Mater, switching to Edna?
The picture and
the picture is so funny, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
which I never even noticed when I did it that it's this funny to me, but it is just hilarious. Like this is like, yeah, like I just picture this like in Monsters Inc. Don't they have like that like monthly scares? Like she'd be just like every month employee of the month. It'd be her picture every time.
Just 12 pictures in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's got to be Edna. But we'll see. People loved Mater last time, so we'll see if people come through with more for Mater. Kennedy kicking us off with a vote for Edna. Tacey votes for Mater. Kim and Caden vote for Edna because she runs a tight ship. Kay votes Edna. So does Llama Floof. Steve and Karen and T Squiggle says, honestly, still going to go with Mater. Hey, it's okay. Kirsten also votes for Mater. And Tyler votes for Edna. Terry and Gage also voting for Edna, which I love. I love how people love this Edna photo because I do too. I think it's hilarious. So Edna mode is going to move on against poor Mater. He had a good run, though, honestly. I feel like he
had a great run. Yeah, he had an excellent run.
Yeah. So Edna mode is moving on in the final of this side of the bracket to face Wally. Wally versus Edna mode. Tough one, Heidi. Tough one, you guys. Easy.
I think it's difficult.
It is difficult.
I know my pick.
But I'm sticking with Edna. She's got a LinkedIn profile already. She's got her picture. She's doing her 25 years at the Walt Disney World Company. It's too funny. And I think she would actually be excellent as well. So I'm going to go Edna.
Yeah, I was going to go Edna also. And I really do think that part of the picture is swaying me. I think it looks like this is like, they have like the rolled out, like at the DMV, they have like the rolled out little thing and they take the picture.
Yeah.
But I think that she could have worked her way up through different jobs and Wally is just custodial.
Yeah, and I think like you could put Edna in like any line of field and like before you know it, she'd be team lead and then she'd like manage multiple teams and she'd like just constantly be
and she would get rid of the ladder. Her team would be the most efficient team ever because she would just cut you if you weren't.
Yeah, it would be like the quickest turnaround on like a cheeseburger egg roll in park history.
Yep. Yeah. I just think that it's got to be Edna. I also was going to say that don't ever, like as a guest, ask for the manager when it's Edna because it's not going to happen.
No, that will not be in your favor.
There's no chance. I think that, this is just like two totally different, cast members here. Like, I think that it's so different, but I do think that Edna is just so good. And I just love this photo so much now that I see it, which is hilarious. This is also hilarious. Edna is Bob Iger's successor. Oh gosh,
that is creative though, so it might not be a terrible move.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that is hilarious. Kennedy votes Edna. So does Kay. Tacey votes for Wally. Tyler and Justine also vote for Wally. Karen votes Edna. Steve votes Edna and says that she's the boss hog with this pick. I love it. Alyssa votes Edna. So does T Squiggle. Caden also says that she's going to earn that blue name tag. Yes, that like legacy name tag for sure. Kim votes Wally. He could work with Caden all summer. Yes, he could at Animal Kingdom for sure. Cynthia votes Edna. Gage also because of the photo has him sold. I love it so much. Kirsten votes Wally. Llama Floof, like I said, votes Edna. Terry votes Wally. And Stacy's here. Welcome, Stacy. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. And don't be sorry. And Stacy votes for Edna. So Edna mode, Tommy, right? Moving on.
Edna mode.
So now we're going to do the next side of our bracket. And sorry, if we're flying through these, but this has just been great. This is fun so far. Hopefully you're all having fun. We're having fun. Thanks for being here for my birthday live. So we'll click this and see who's our first matchup.
What if the whole next is just Brandon? Brandon.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't think that I would have beat Edna.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Definitely not. Edna mode is our winner on this side. Next up, Tiana versus Goofy.
Not hard.
No, not even close.
I feel bad though because Goofy is so nice and he does work hard. He's a single dad working hard.
He does work hard, but I
he's
feel like
too much of a goof.
Yeah, anytime he would try to carry literally anything, he would find a banana peel to step on. I don't know.
I agree. I think Tiana could do literally any job in the park.
Yeah, she'd be so good. She'd also make sure that just everything's on time. All the food, if she's doing that role, she could do a lot of things.
Yeah, she could do anything.
So I think that she'll be a tough one on this side, I think for sure, but she's got to be my vote. She's just awesome. I do love Goofy though. I think that he'd be good for like a guest interaction, but I do think he could be on the same guest for 20 minutes talking to them and kind of like leaving other people, which I think would be kind of a problem.
He'd end up like spending the whole day with whoever he saw first.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. Tiana with a lot of votes. Also, Kirsten, it is my birthday on Sunday, but we're doing this here today because we can't do it Sunday. So we're doing it a couple days early. So technically not my birthday, but it's my birthday live because every year since we've like done lives on my birthday, we always do it, I guess, for 3 years now, right? Maybe.
Is it more than that?
3-4 years? Not sure. 3 years? No, 3 years. 3 years. But yeah. Super long story to explain that it's not my birthday today, but it's in 2 days. Cynthia votes for Tiana. So does Gage and Kim and Tacey and Kay and Alyssa all voting for Tiana. Tyler and Kennedy and T Squiggle also vote for Tiana. Terry's going to be the odd one out and vote for Goofy. Caden also votes for Tiana. So does Kirsten because I want her beignets. Karen votes for Tiana for some yummy food. Stacy votes for Goofy because he'd make things excuse me, so much fun. Sorry. Justine votes for Tiana and Llama Floof does as well with a Michelin star for sure at any restaurant. And Steve votes for Tiana. There we go. So Tiana. Oh, yes. And also Magical Castle. I feel like I'm unwell over here. I'm like sweaty. My mouth is so dry. Also, like literally how many minutes like before the live, my hands were tingly. I'm like, what's happening to me? Something's happening to me. But Tiana is moving on. Next up, do you want to take this one, Heidi? We'll have a drink. Who do we got here?
I don't know who that is. C3PO. C3PO on the screen there, and Jiminy Cricket.
Yep.
Which one are we going for?
This might be a hot take, but Jiminy is annoying to me.
I was gonna say, are people gonna be mad if I say that Jiminy Cricket is so annoying? Yeah, he's so
love him.
I think he's so annoying, and I have to go for C3PO.
Yeah, it's 100%. Human cyborg relations. That's his job.
Yeah.
Sad. I'm voting for Jiminy.
This one's kind of tough though because they're very different, and I think that Jiminy's size is kind of an issue here.
And
nobody could hear him. He'd have to be on your shoulder. You can't have cast members walking on guests.
If Jiminy hopped up on someone's shoulder and was like trying to give them moral advice, people would be like, "Sir, like, who are you?
To be here.
Get off my child's shoulder, please."
They would tell him that they pay his salary or some nonsense.
They would say something out of pocket. Yeah.
I think that he could be someone who's on like a DVC booth or something. Jiminy. Maybe.
Yeah.
C3PO though, he would be perfect. He'll do what you say.
Multilingual. Yeah. Like,
yeah. He's already has experience working that attraction, Star Tours. He's in there.
Yeah, he can get a little flustered, but he can't really get like that mad. And he doesn't really get mad at humans. He gets mad at R2D2, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Heidi. That poor Jiminy is getting.
Yeah, sorry,
we dragged Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I didn't know that there are Jiminy haters. There we go.
Yeah, maybe we need to rewatch, but I remember him being kind of a.
It's okay. I just really like Fun and Fancy Free for some reason.
we also didn't we try to rewatch Pinocchio, and it is just so
too bizarre.
It's just way too much, I think, for me to watch, which I'm excited to ride that ride, which we talked about. Like in Disney.
I read the trip.
I'm interested. A lot of votes for C3PO though, from Steve and Tacey and Tyler and Kay. Oh, he'd be a good tour guide. Very true. I think he'd be good at lots of things. Alyssa and Llama Floof, like I said, also vote for C3PO. So does Kim. Oh, and look, this is flipped. Stacy loves Mr. Jiminy, but thinks that
C3PO is also annoying. Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
There we go. Keep him at Star Tours. Yes, for C3PO. Terry also, T Squiggle, Caden with any language and all the info. Kirsten and Alyssa and Cynthia and Karen and Gage. All voting for C3PO. So C3PO is moving on. Next up, we have Carl Fredrickson versus Belle.
Not hard.
I know.
Carl's a grump.
He's so grumpy.
He would stink. He'd be bad. It's Belle. She's smart. She's kind. Like she is.
Haley, I'm so sorry, Haley.
Affable. Carl's a big grump.
No, he would like greet you on like the boat.
maybe post-movie Carl. Pre-movie Carl would like
of course.
hit you in the head with his
Post-movie
walker.
Carl could be like the children's activity coordinator.
Yeah. This one's not hard for me, I think.
Yeah, I have
Belle.
to
Yeah. This is just a tough draw because I do think that Carl could be good like in a role, but like you said, if it's pre-movie, like whatever Carl, he'd be so bad, he'd be so annoyed, he would just be not great. But I do think that there could be a role.
Breeder, but he would like fall asleep like on the way out with like the Mickey hand on his hand. You just
he'd be like, I like came out of retirement for this. Like I feel like he doesn't have like a huge work ethic at this point in his life. Understandably so. I wouldn't either.
Yeah. What about you, Heidi?
I'm voting for Belle as well.
Oh, okay. There you go.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I
just thought that you were gonna say Carl. I don't know why. For some reason.
I think he would do an okay job. Like I feel like, are there like retired people who go and work?
Oh yeah,
all the time.
that's my game plan.
I had one guy who, when I took a boat, I think from Port Orleans to Disney Springs, maybe or something, he was like a retired. I think he said he
Can we do that?
he
That's
worked
so
in
cute.
like
Let's do that.
he worked in some kind of trade or something, and then he was just out there like driving boats. So I was like, that's fun.
That'd be
That's
so
where I
cute.
can see Carl. Just like not too many people.
Yeah.
Just transporting. He doesn't really have to talk to very many people.
I feel like I would.
That's probably not a good selling point for a better cast member.
Yeah, you have to keep him away from people. Limited movement.
So many things. Kay votes for Belle. So does Stacy and Tacey. And Tyler and Gage all voting for Belle. So does Kim. Steve is voting for Carl. He's already been a park employee. Justine votes for Belle, and Kennedy also votes for Belle. So does Elisa and Kirsten.
Oh yeah, he worked in the movie.
Did he? I don't remember that.
Didn't he give out
clearly.
balloons?
Oh yeah.
At like the zoo.
You're right.
Yeah.
There you go. Terry votes for Carl. Belle's nose would be in a book. Oh, there we go. Caden votes for Belle. So does Karen. T Squiggles going back to that Beastie Boy movie and votes for Belle for sure. Llama Floof says that Carl wouldn't get any cast.
He would from me.
He would from you?
A million.
Cutest old man ever.
Yes.
Ever. And then Belle would be in the Bippity Boppity Boutique. Agree. She'd be great. So Belle is moving on. Next up, we have.
Oh my god.
I put this in here just for Haley because I think this is so funny. Jar Jar Binks versus Olaf.
This is like the most fair matchup ever for Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. If Jar Jar Binks was going to draw anyone, it would be Olaf. That's for sure.
God.
Haley, take it away as our Jar Jar Binks lover.
So I've always loved Jar Jar Binks, and not really for any reason except for when I was a kid. His part was in the movie, and I enjoyed it. I don't really know what his role could be. I think he could do cool stuff like with Custodio. I think he could make the little minions on the ground.
No.
Yeah.
He gets banished from his whole society for like being too big of a klutz.
They're just haters.
You can't allow him to do anything.
No, I disagree.
No, I think he's got like the walking calamity factor of Goofy with like the untrustworthiness of even like a Tigger. Like I think he would be off topic and a walking disaster. I don't even think Olaf would be particularly good because I think Olaf would also be like easily distracted. But at least Olaf is like a walking tornado. They both just have a good heart.
They're both of their selling points. So because Olaf doesn't have any more benefits to him, I have to go with Jar Jar Binks.
No way.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about you, Heidi?
I'm voting for Olaf, but I don't know Jar Jar.
Well,
personally.
I'm just laughing at Steve's comment that says, if I see Jar Jar, I'm off to you. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. I don't know too much about him like either. I just think that he's hilarious, and I put him in here for Haley because I think that's so funny. And I also do know that doesn't he kind of talk like a bit off? Like he kind of is like
Jar Jar.
And you can't understand him.
Yes, you can.
No.
Yeah, it's not like Donald.
So funny. I'm voting Olaf. I do think that he like also would be easily distracted, but I do think that he could find like
he could work at like Ronco's Roasters in 2 seconds.
No, wouldn't he?
No, he would not melt.
He
No,
would melt?
not Olaf.
Oh, Jar Jar
I'm
Binks.
on Team Jar Jar.
No,
You couldn't even put Olaf without Anna in Orlando because he would melt.
everything Jar Jar touches is ruined.
No,
He ruins everything he touches.
you are mean to him.
He's bad. He's bad.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing that Haley like said Ronto roasters and Tommy thinks she's Olaf. That's so good.
Yeah, because it's obviously going to be Olaf moving
That's okay. I've already accepted that the minute they were on the screen, but
So funny. Kennedy votes Olaf, so does Kim. Obviously, Steve also votes Olaf. Tasty says, "Can I say both? They'd have enough brain cells to function together." Very funny. Olaf couldn't survive in the Florida climate, but stick him inside somewhere, he'd be fine. Says Caden. K also votes Olaf. This is also so funny. Magical Castle agrees and says that he'd be so kind as a cast member. Olaf would. T Squiggle also votes Olaf because Mr. Jar Jar would probably break every ride somehow.
Right.
Tyler votes for Jar Jar. So does Gage. Terry and Justine vote Olaf. Karen votes Olaf, and Kirsten says Olaf. Please let it be Olaf. I'm gonna go to Universal with Steve if I see Jar Jar. See, he's obviously polarizing, Haley.
There are more supporters than I thought there was going to be.
thank you. And people are just judging a book by its cover just because he's not the prettiest.
Olaf is moving on. Next up, Robin Hood versus Dory.
You can't hire Dory.
Yeah.
She is the most unreliable person in this whole thing.
Poor Dory. She's sweet though. I do think that Robin Hood is probably a good mix of making magical moments. I think that he'd be giving out stuff to everybody for sure.
Yeah, the people who he deemed deserving. Only the people who were nice to other people when nobody was
Well,
looking.
it could be an issue. It'd be like Robin Hood. You can't just hand out Rice Krispie treats to everybody who walks by.
No, he wouldn't to everybody. Not all guests are kind. He would only give it out.
Yeah, but you can't hand out free Rice Krispie treats at all.
Yes, you can.
Not to the extent he's doing. He's slinging gold coins like it's nothing.
No, well, he would just pluck them out of the other people's bags. He's not costing Disney any money.
That's true. Yeah, this one's a tough draw. I don't know.
How would Dory even survive out of the water?
Well, she got.
I don't know.
I think that's where we've gone.
I think if you get Dory on the phones, maybe answering customer service.
You answer, and then it would be like Patrick. No, this is Patrick.
No, she could keep it together for long enough. She'd answer the question, and then if they were nice, if they're mean, it wouldn't matter because she would forget, and then she would go into the next call with a clean slate.
No, I like Dory, and I think she's nice, but I don't. I think the lack of memory.
I think both would be pretty rough. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where Dory could fit now that you say that. I really don't know. I guess that she would be someone who's, I don't know, maybe you could stick her at a front desk in a
leave her in the bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. In a bowl.
And they'll come down. She won't know what room anybody's in. She'll have a hard time.
She can't even use a computer.
Can't give them a key.
That's so funny. Heidi says she can't even use a computer. You're just thinking so.
She wanted Jiminy.
It's true.
The cricket is allowed to help people, but the fish can't come out.
No, I'm going Robin Hood because Dory is a fish. She doesn't have fingers or thumbs.
I don't have.
This is so much funner than I thought it would be. I knew that it would be fun.
Logic just started logicking really hard.
Yeah. I am also going to vote for Robin Hood. I do think that he could be a problem, like you said, Tommy, with him just kind of slinging out a bunch of free stuff. But maybe he would have to be reeled in, like you said, Haley, to do it only. I guess
put him in merchandise. Also, I think he would be a great on any ride, attractions. I think he would be good.
Maybe.
Okay. Let's see.
Keep him away from stuff for sure.
Well, this is so funny.
He's like a safari driver.
Keaton says keep him away from Club 33. Very true. Where are we at here? Tacey. Oh, also Mr. Jason earlier voted for Senator Binks. Also Haley.
Thank you, Mr. Jason.
There you go. Tacey and Kim and Magical Castle and T Squiggle all voting for Robin Hood. So does Terry and Gage and Kirsten and like I said, Kaden and Tyler. And Kay and Steve, because Steve says Haley's right, can't hire Dory, and Karen and Kennedy. What is that, Heidi? A sweep.
Was it a sweet?
Yeah.
It was all because Heidi gave us
The logic. Yeah.
Never do anything.
We can't hire a fish.
No, exactly. So Robin Hood, we can hire this fox with a bow and arrow though. Moving on.
Because he can not be in water.
Next up, Groot versus Rapunzel.
I'm voting Rapunzel. Because she could work at the Bippity Boppity Boutique.
She could, yeah. I think that Groot is kind of sneaky, like kind, like an underrated here. I do think he's like huge though. I think he's like 12 feet tall or something, which
Very
is
tall, yeah.
Oh, but it wouldn't work.
I think is kind of a problem, you know?
He could be that plant lady in the front of Animal Kingdom.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also think that like sometimes he gets really mad. So like he is kind, but he can also get really mad.
Yeah.
But I think that like he's kind of like WallE, where like he can't make any guests upset or happy because he only has 3 words.
Yep. Yeah. I think like on the surface, I think it's not Groot. It's got to be Rapunzel.
That's
Because,
right.
like, yeah. Which is unfortunate because I would love to find a role for Groot. You know, he's great, kind. I just think that maybe he's like too big and too bulky kind of to really do anything. You know?
Yeah, I mean you can't put him in any building. Like he can't work inside at all.
No.
I feel like Rapunzel, you could put her in like the college program and like the same way, just like a normal person where like she can adapt and fit to anything.
Yeah,
like
I
she'll
agree.
leave the role and just do it.
Yep, I agree. Let's see. So far, lots for Rapunzel. Kim votes Rapunzel. Tyler votes for Groot. Llama Floof says Groot in charge of the topiaries for Flower and Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Like it. Interesting. Tacey and Kennedy and Steve are voting for Rapunzel. Justine also and Magical Castle love Groot, but communication is an issue. It really is. Gage votes for Groot. Caden and Kay vote for Rapunzel. T Squiggle loves Rapunzel, but is going to vote for Groot. And Kirsten and Terry with votes for Rapunzel.
I didn't even think about like groundskeeping. That's a perfect role.
Yeah, I don't know what his like extent of flower powers are, but he can. It seems like he can grow
He
them
can
at
grow
will.
things
Yeah,
and he can just pluck them off.
yeah.
That's also true. Look, and there's always use for a top shelf reacher, says Mr. Jason.
True.
Very true. I know that all too well, Mr. Jason, let me tell you.
And he can grow to any height. Like he'll just make himself tall and then.
It's true.
Yeah.
And another vote for Rapunzel. So Rapunzel is moving on this round. Next up, Sully versus Chewie.
I
The
think.
big furry versus the big furry.
Yeah, I think this one is sneaky, kind of easy. I think
I agree.
Chewie has a temper and you can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I think that and they're
And
like,
Sully's funny.
yeah, Sully's funny, but like physically they offer some of the same values. If you need them to do heavy lifting or whatever, I think Sully can compete with Chewie. But yeah, Chewie, like rips people's arms off and you can't understand what he's saying. I don't know if that is necessarily conducive for a good cast member.
Yeah, and he's like one of those people where like if you separated him from his like co-worker pal, it would be a problem. Like he needed Han.
Yeah. Like, this one I think also like I'm gonna go Sully. You as well. It's just kind of one of those things. I think that like he's probably not also just like the best though, but I think in this matchup, I feel like he's just like a little bit better. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
I feel like he's good. Mike was kind of like I think Sully like
I don't know. Yeah.
Because I think he knows when to rein it in. Like he just wanted to be the best, and like he does have an ego, but like I think he wants to do well. Like that's his whole thing.
That's what. Yeah, I would be afraid of him being kind of lazy if it wasn't like a role where he was like in the spotlight. Like if he was just like slinging burgers or whatever, he'd be kind of like disinterested. But I still think it would probably be a better option than Chewbacca.
Agree. All right. Where are we at here? Gage kicking us off with a vote for Sully. So is Karen and Tacey. Tyler says Chewie, he's a great mechanic. There you go. Maybe he could do some ride fixing stuff. T Squiggle votes for Sully. So does Cynthia. Kim says love Chewie, but have to go with Sully. Kirsten votes for Chewie. Justine votes for Sully, so does Caden. Steve says it kills me to vote against Star Wars, so I won't, and votes for Chewie. Magical Castle and Kennedy vote for Sully. Terry votes for Chewie, and this also is a good point. Look, maybe he could make the rides run a little more consistently. Very true. Kay votes for Sully, and Jason says that I hired Mr. Jar Jar, so I'm hiring to keep Jar Jar in line. I love it. Which one's moving on, Heidi?
Sully.
Sully. Moving on to the next round. Next up, Rex versus Baymax. Baymax is kind of like along the lines of like a WallE to me, where he
I
would
agree.
be good, but I don't really know what he would be the best at. Like, I don't think he's like a seamless fit. You know,
No, he has to work in first aid.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Easy. There you go.
But then Rex, his little arms can't reach much. He would have to be Partysaurus Rex and do the DJ.
Yeah, I know Rex is good at some stuff in addition to DJing. He definitely is. Like, he's not like he's useless in the movies, but I can't for the life of me.
He can never reach anything.
Yeah.
You need him to physically do anything.
And it's not like you need him to like devise a scheme or a plan.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think I'm probably just gonna go Baymax for a similar WallE thing, where it's like, you know what he's good at. You stick him in the corner. You know, if someone cuts their finger, you send them over there. Baymax will take care of them. You don't have to worry about it. He's a robot, so he'll work the 12 hours or whatever and go home and power down.
He doesn't really have a way to discern if people are in real pain or not, and you're always in pain at Disney. Your feet are always hurting. I feel like he'd be so worried about
He'd be so overwhelmed, trying to help everybody out. It's so
That's hilarious.
I would hire Rex as the DJ. That's mine.
Oh, good one. Okay, what about you, Heidi?
I'm gonna vote for Baymax.
Yeah, this one I think, like I'm kind of along the lines of the WallE thing, where like I do think that he would be like a really good fit. He'd excel at his role. I do think that he would do a great job. And Rex, I think it's just like the arm thing for me is not really selling it. You know, for me, he's a little too, I don't know. Yeah, and he's also like a toy dinosaur. I guess if we're using Heidi's logic. I'm just kidding.
Also 6 inches tall.
Yeah. Let's see. A lot of votes for Baymax here. Kennedy and Tacey voting for Baymax. Gage votes for Rex. Steve is also voting for Baymax, and so is Caden. Kim votes for Rex, and so does T Squiggle and Cynthia. Karen votes for Baymax. So does Terry and Tyler and Kirsten. Kay votes for Rex. Magical Castle votes for Rex as a dance party host or Dino Land. Very true. Stacy votes for Baymax. So does Justine, and Megan is here. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Votes for Baymax. Lollipops for everyone. Love it so much. So Baymax is moving on. And I'm pretty sure that is it of round 1. So round 2, Tiana versus C3PO.
This was easy.
Easy?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Haley.
I think Tiana takes it. I think Tiana is kind of like a Rapunzel, where she obviously has some skills she's really, really skilled at, like cooking and things like that. But I think entertainment, I think attractions, I think she would fit anywhere, and she's so pleasant.
Yeah, I just have like C3PO being multilingual is such a game changer for me. I think if you were applying to be a cast member and you were like, yeah, I speak every language, they'd be like, oh yeah, like you're hired, and here's also like $500,000. So I think I'm gonna go C3PO, but it's like by a very, very thin margin. I think like Tiana would probably be more like versatile, and you could put her wherever, but I think that C3PO would just really nail being able to communicate with any guest that would come across him.
What about you? Tough?
Tiana for me.
Yeah, this is hard because I do think that Tommy makes a really good point where that is like a super valuable skill. Like that would be, he's the only cast member that can do that, which is insane. But I do think that Tiana just has like a work ethic that I think you can't teach it, and she would just be so good. So I gotta go with Tiana because she's just like really good at lots, but has that work ethic. So I think for me, gotta be Tiana. And we'll see what everyone has to say. Karen votes for Tiana, so does Stacy and Kennedy and Kim and T Squiggle, all voting for Tiana. Caden and Gage and Megan are voting for Tiana. Terry votes for C3PO. Kirsten votes for sorry, this totally threw me when I read that, but I was like, oh, it's also the same, C3PO. So does Magical Castle and Tyler. Tacey votes for Tiana. Steve is also voting for C3PO. Oh, there we go. Mr. Jason, guest relations for C3PO. He'd have all the answers. Kay votes for Tiana, and Alyssa votes for C3PO. Pretty
yeah.
close. But Tiana takes the cake here. Moving on to the next round.
Yeah. Jason's whole cast members all Star Wars.
Yeah, easily for him. Next up, Olaf and Belle. I think this one's easy, right?
It is, yeah.
No.
Olaf's only there because he went
Yeah.
against the worst competitor in the
Hey.
bracket. Just kidding.
I love it so much.
No, he stinks, but he is funny. Jar Jar Binks is funny.
Yeah,
I'll throw
Yeah.
a bone. He is funny.
But Belle, absolutely.
Yeah. Although I think a good point was raised that I could like easily distracted by books. And that would be.
Except that she's not. They only
Oh,
sing about it in the beginning, and then
Does she have a job like in
What
that
do you-
town? I don't think.
have a job.
I don't
She's
think so.
kidnapped.
Yeah, but before that, she doesn't have a job. She just reads books.
Yeah, huh? She delivers things. and
Does
gets
she? I
things
think she
and
just
fetches
walks
things.
and picks up books.
She's also probably 16, so
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Belle. I just think it was a good point that I didn't think
Yeah.
about beforehand.
yeah. Like I think that Olaf is kind of along the lines of Mater for me, where like I think that he could have a role that he'd be good at, but I don't know what it is. Like as
Agreed there.
easily, you know?
Yeah, you'd have to like move him around until it really like clicked. But
Yeah.
you have to get through like 50 failures before you're like, finally, I found out what
Exactly.
Olaf can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I think that Belle could easily do like a lot of things. I think she'd be good at kids' activities. She'd be good at lots.
Yeah, I think that's where Olaf would be good too, is kids activities.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. We could stick anybody there, really. What about you?
Stick anybody at kids' activities.
I think maybe like you could stick a Baymax there. He'd be great.
No.
What?
Well, Baymax would be good, but not anyone.
Jar Jar Binks would have a ball with kids' activities.
I agree. He'd be up in that pool.
Yeah, you'd have to like put everyone in balloon suits to make sure that nobody got
You
hurt.
would just
though.
have to partner him with Baymax.
Yeah, they'd have to be a package deal for sure.
I love this comment by Steve that Steve likes to listen to Haley and Tommy debate. Me too.
Sorry.
Where are we at here? Lots for Belle, Kennedy, Tacey, and T Squiggle all voting for Belle. So is Kim and Tyler and Alyssa all voting for Belle. Kaden and Kirsten and Gage are all voting for Belle as well. Stacy and Magical Castle vote for Belle. Karen and Kay and like I said, Steve are all voting for Belle. And Terry votes Belle. And then one vote for Olaf from Justine. Love it, Justine. So Belle is moving on to the next round. Next up, we have Robin Hood and Rapunzel. Any thoughts?
I think Rapunzel would like actually be excited to be a cast member and would like really dig it and like really work hard. Where Robin Hood's a little too cool for school. He'd
Yeah,
be
I
like
think he
slacking
would-
off. He'd be like trading his shifts away. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think he'd have a scheme going.
Yeah, he'd have a scheme
Yeah.
going. To rob the
Yeah, I think
Phantasmic snack bar at the end of the summer or something like that.
his employment, I think, would be short lived.
Yeah.
And so I think like Rapunzel could be somebody who works there for like forever, like starts in like college and then just never leaves.
Yeah. I think that like Robin Hood is kind of the opposite Scrooge McDuck, where Scrooge wants to make all the money and Robin Hood is like, you make way too much money, so we need to give a bunch of free stuff away. And I think that would easily be like a no. You know what I mean? So Rapunzel, yeah, she to me seems like the perfect person that if they were doing like ads for the college program, she'd be on there.
Yeah.
She's like the poster girl, like about the college program.
And I feel like she'd be excited about any role.
Any role. She'd love it so much. And yeah, she's just, yeah, gotta be.
She would kill it at that animators where they learn how to draw the thing.
Oh yeah, she'd be so good. Lot of votes here for Rapunzel. Tacey and T Squiggle and Kennedy and Karen all voting for Rapunzel. So is Kim and Kaden, but Steve is switching, going with the Hood. Love it. So is Kirsten, Robin Hood. Terry and Magical Castle and Tyler and Kay all voting Rapunzel. And Gage is also voting for Rapunzel as well. So Rapunzel is moving on to the
This
next
bracket
round.
is like the hardest on my heart, Brandon.
It is hard. Yeah. I kind of like we talked about this a few days ago, and I was like I think this would be like a fun bracket, but I don't know how to do it, like if it would really like work. But I do think that it's really been great so far to like I think really kind of like imagine if these characters actually did. Like I think it's kind of fun.
And I think it's like the first one where it's like, I feel like everyone's like putting their movie preferences aside and like their character preferences because you have
Very true.
vote against some of your own people. Like that's all I've been doing is voting against my people. I feel like
I agree. Next up we have Baymax and Sully.
I think you raised a good point where there are so many people in like general states of distress at Walt Disney World that Baymax would feel the need to like kind of just follow everyone he sees around. But I think if you were to like put him in a room or whatever and like made people walk in to see him, I think he'd be really effective, and you can kind of keep him on the tracks a little bit. So probably not as efficient as like a Wally would have been, but I still think he'd be really good in like a first aid role.
Yeah, my knee jerk is Sully, but I don't think he would be as good. Like I think he's kind of like a Robin Hood where he would, like you said, like kind of slack off or like goof around. Like he would be like he is in Monsters University, and he would go like total frat boy and like just play the whole time. So I think I'm gonna go Baymax.
Yeah, like I just don't know what role he'd be good at. Like, and I think that's why that I'm kind of stuck on not voting for him, because it's got to be Baymax for me, because I just like don't know what like what he could be doing. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like there's not like I think a lot of the other characters we've kind of had like a seamless idea for, like, and I don't really have one for Sully, so it's got to be Baymax for me.
I'm also gonna pick Baymax because I feel like he's got that good customer service.
True. Yeah, he'd
Serves
go
with an attitude.
He
a
would.
Good attitude.
Yeah, he'd go over, like over and above every expectation for sure. I also love this that Kirsten says Baymax. I've totally been voting for my favorites. I love it. So funny. Where are we at here? Kim votes for Sully, so does Karen and Gage. Kennedy votes for Baymax, and so does Tacey, T Squiggle, and Steve are voting for Sully. Caden and Tyler and Terry all vote for Baymax. Magical Castle votes for Sully. So does Kay and Amy and Madison. And like I said, Kirsten votes for Baymax. This one's close. Interesting. Here we go.
This was right.
We'll leave it open for a minute. If we have to do a recount, we can. But also thanks everyone for being here. If you're just hopping in here, we're ranking or putting in a bracket all these characters on who we think would be the best Disney World cast member. Should I do a recount?
Maybe, just in case.
Okay,
I don't want to get anyone upset.
We're all of us on the Baymax train, or Haley voted for Sully?
No, Baymax.
No. Okay.
Okay, then it was wrong.
Oh,
because I thought Haley voted
there you
for
go.
Sully.
Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for Baymax.
Okay.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Sully, and then 2 more for Baymax.
Woo.
So Megan and Justine.
Oh, so Baymax.
Baymax is the winner. Very close one though there. And he'll be moving on. Next up, we have Tiana and Belle.
Oh.
This one to me is not hard, which is weird.
No,
I thought it was gonna be because I
Me
think
too.
when you look at them, it's just princess.
Yeah, got to be Tiana for me.
way stronger work ethic.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think he has a little more personality than Belle has.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
That's true.
Definitely gets fed up with Prince Naveen pretty quickly, which
who wouldn't?
pretty entertaining. Yeah, but I think that just a matter of like you could put Tiana in front of any task and she's like gonna get it done. So
yeah, she'd get a lot of compliments from guests, but also her like leadership would be leaving her a lot of messages saying she's great. Like, and I do love Belle. She's my favorite princess, but I just think in this thing, I think that it's got to be Tiana. She like it's kind of the like embodiment of like a hardworking person, kind of like a Judy earlier, but I just think that she'd fit in more roles than a Judy would. So got to be Tiana. Let's see what we have in the chat. A lot of Tiana, Tyler, and Kennedy and Kim kicking us off with votes for Tiana. Gage and Steve as well come in with votes for Tiana. Kaden and Megan and Madison all voting for Tiana. Amy as well. Kirsten and T Squiggle, Kirsten votes for Belle. T Squiggle says that Belle is my fave, but for sure got to go Tiana. Me too, T Squiggle. We're on the same wavelength. Terry and Karen and Tacey and Kay all voting for Tiana. Very strong for Princess Tiana, and she is moving on to the next round. Next up, Rapunzel and Baymax. Tough one, Heidi. Easy
No,
one.
This is where I draw the line. I think Rapunzel, because she can do more, and I think that she would be excited about a lot, and would be nice to everyone.
Yeah, she'd always have a smile. She'd be so happy to be there. And I just think that's like a big part of working for Disney is being happy to be there and having a smile on. And just like, I think she would just love it. And she'd love to like talk with people. She'd be so good at so many things. And like I said, I think she's like the poster person for like a Disney college program. I do think that Baymax like would excel in his role, but I just think you can't like take away the personality factor that Rapunzel has.
And I feel like sometimes like it can weigh on cast members. So like if you're working like so many shifts, but Rapunzel's just so happy to be out of that tower and like away from Mother Gothel that she's just so thrilled to be there that she would just be like, she wouldn't take any of it for granted.
That's what I was going to say. She'd be so excited to just be doing something that morale would be through the roof at all times.
And she'd be singing.
Yeah, singing.
Oh, yeah, she'd have a great time. Let's see what the chat has to say. Tacey and Llama Floof kicking us off with 2 votes for Baymax. Karen and Kennedy and Steve and T Squiggle all voting for Rapunzel. Kim and Kaden also voting for Rapunzel. Kirsten votes for Baymax. Tyler and Magical Castle and Kay all vote Rapunzel, and so does Terry. So Rapunzel is moving on to go up against, well, where is it? Princess Tiana. 2 princesses on this side of the bracket.
This one's easy for me again.
Go ahead.
I'm sticking with Tiana. I think she's just, because I think their personalities are a little bit similar. I think she's a little bit more serious than Rapunzel, but it's not like Judy, who's like all business.
Right.
And so I think that like her hardworking self kind of just beats out because they have like a lot of the same personalities otherwise.
Yeah, I think this one's a little tough, but I think Tiana already has some business experience running the restaurant. So just that little X factor, I'm going to push Tiana just ahead.
What are you?
I'm gonna vote for Rapunzel because I think that her energy will carry her a long way at Disney, because that's like the whole thing of Disney. It's like making everyone stay magical, and I think that she could do that.
Yeah, this one's one of the hardest ones I think yet for me, because I think that like I know Tiana's work ethic. I don't really know that I know Rapunzel's work ethic, but I do think that she's very like happy, positive. I do think that Tiana has that too, but I just think when it comes down to it, I think that, oh gosh, why is this one hard for me? Because it's just like, I think that like obviously Tiana like is the hardest worker, like, and Rapunzel just embodies that happy spirit. But I'm gonna go Tiana like super slightly, because I think that work ethic, you can't teach that. I think that she would just excel, but it's so hard for me. This was the hardest one, I think, for me so far. Which I guess there's only one left, but this one was hard. Where are we at here? Kennedy votes for Tiana, so does Steve and Kaden and Tacey and T Squiggle. A lot of votes for Tiana. Amy and Tyler and Madison all voting for Tiana. Kirsten votes for Rapunzel. Kay votes for Tiana. Karen votes for Rapunzel. And then Terry and Kim also voting for Rapunzel. Or sorry, Tiana, I mean, not Rapunzel. Sorry, Tiana. And Tiana is moving on to go up against in the final. Also, Gage votes for Tiana, and it's going to be Edna Mode versus Tiana.
If you would ask me to pick who I thought was going to win this, it is not who I'm picking.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But it also like these are like the only 2 that like have like significant working experience. I feel like coming into it, like other than like maybe Sully, who is just kind of more of like a, I don't know, he's like an actor kind of, or like a professional athlete sort of. These are the 2 that like actually have experience doing stuff. So I guess it makes sense, but it definitely was not how I expected this to play out.
Which way you guys going, Haley?
I'm going Edna.
Yeah, me too. I think if
she was just a boss babe in this picture.
Yeah. I think like if I think of a cast member like in the parks, I would picture Tiana.
Yes.
But that's just because Edna was like so successful so quickly. She had the like the ice cream stand running so efficiently that Bobby Iger was like, we gotta get Edna into senior management staff.
No, when you, Brandon, were talking about like a door opening, all I could think is like little tiny like heels clicking down, and then you just see teensy Edna in the door, and everyone's like,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, like I think that these are two totally different. Like if you had to think of like a cast member at Disney World, you'd think of Tiana first. But I think if you thought of like an employee who Disney would love on their end, it'd be Edna because she would get so much done. I think that this is very hard, and I think it's a very interesting final. Like, and I honestly think that like it's probably one of the hardest like ends to a bracket that we've had because I think that they're both so different, but both work very hard. Both could do like a lot of things. So like I'm kind of stuck. What about you? I don't know.
I'm going with Edna because I think that like she could be like she started somewhere, but like Haley and everyone was saying like she could work up really well and then be like very dedicated to the company and then be like very influential in the company, I think. Which Tiana I feel like could have that potential too, but Edna just has that like dog in her that she'll go after it.
I think I'm just kind of thinking of like a frontline cast member, and that's why in my head it's like a Tiana, but I do think that there are like obviously roles like a costuming and things that like you don't see like, and I do picture that Edna could have had a really good like time. I'm though going to vote for Tiana because as like a frontline cast member, I think that I would think of her first. This is very close and very hard, and I love that this is like our ending here. So we'll see what everybody has to say.
I feel like Tiana, like she works for her passion.
Agreed.
And Edna's passion is work.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what they're so different because their vibe is like totally opposite.
This is the best like finale I can remember. I feel like usually like the bracket's really tough, and then we get to the finale and it's like, oh, it's the one side.
Yeah,
it was really really hard and pretty like really good throughout.
I agree. Kennedy votes for Tiana, so does Gage. Steve votes for Edna. Someone has to be the boss. T Squiggle votes for Tiana. Karen votes Edna. Caden and Tacey vote for Tiana. Terry and Magical Castle vote for Edna. Kim and Amy vote for Tiana. Kay votes for Tiana, and Llama Floof votes Edna. Justine votes for Tiana. Kirsten votes for Edna Mode and says, fun fact, my mom is Edna's twin, shortness and all.
That's hilarious.
I love it. Stacy votes for Tiana, so does Tyler, and Madison also votes for Tiana. Close.
That was so back and forth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Very back and forth. But our winner is going to be who, Heidi?
Tiana.
Tiana is our winner of who would be the perfect Disney World cast member. I do think, though, that like this needs to be sent into Bob Iger.
Well, you better watch his back.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, she's coming for him. But Tiana tonight is our winner, and it should zoom out and we can see kind of how it shook out here. Are there any surprises, anything that anybody wants to chat about, or like everything kind of shook out how you thought, like in terms
Wally
of
went way further than I thought.
I think that Wally run was incredible because, like I said, right off the bat, I saw Remy next to Wally, and I was like, oh yeah, like you put Remy in food services, like you put him like as a line cook or something, he'd be great, easy, no brainer. Wally's kind of like he's smart, but like he's not.
This is one word.
Yeah, he's not like an effective communicator or anything like that. He's very like kind of narrow focused, but that actually ended up playing to his favor.
But I'm glad that was like kind of like the opening one.
Yeah, I agree.
It changed my mindset because like there's so many different roles of cast members that like otherwise I think I would have had like Rapunzel as my winner hands down. Because I would have just been thinking of like a front line, like who you see in the parks every single day, like in costume.
Like I think that it's this whole thing I think could have been very surface level, but I think that we right from the gate, like with you talking about Wally, really turned the tide, which is awesome. I love it. Tyler wishes that Chewie would have went farther, and Steve says that C-3PO got a raw deal. LOL recount. Love it. Before we let you all go, just a few little like random notes, obviously, before we let you go. First thing is I leave for Florida in literally, I think it's like 16 days or something.
It is 16 days.
Which is like mind-blowing. So with that being said, you can use code Sunny15 over at the lovely Magical Castle Company until I leave for Florida to get you some great stuff and use that discount code. They got lots of good stuff. They just released for like Earth Day, like a lot of Dino Land stuff, which is so fun, and get that before that goes extinct. So a lot of good stuff over there. Haley and Tommy's YouTube is now down there in the chat. You can check them out there as well. So definitely go subscribe if you haven't. And I think the next one is going to be that. Oh no, it's not yet. But I did react to the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, which was fun. If you're not into like swear words and like some vulgarness, maybe don't watch this, because honestly, like I recorded this and I thought, oh wow, this was kind of intense for me to post on our channel, but it was still fun and great. And I'm so excited about this movie. I can't wait. So there's that reaction. And then I also today posted my bucket list for my program, and also some stuff that I think that I'll do different that I wanted to share with people, like after doing the program one time before. So yeah, hopefully that's fun. And there's a lot of things on my bucket list. I can share it here that my goal is, while I'm there, to upload 3 videos a week, which is going to be a tall task, I think, but that's the goal. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then that brings us into this as well. I think now is next is the Park Squad Pod, which is our podcast, all 4 of us, and we upload on Mondays. And our last Monday was this one here, the Disney and More Q&A Part 2, where we answered a lot of your questions. And I'm going to pull it up here as a preview, because I'll do it here, because I think that we'll post something in the story over there, like maybe this weekend or something. But I'll pull this over here. How am I doing this? Is this even happening for me? I'm like, what am I doing? Because I wanted to pull this over as a little preview for this episode, because it's my birthday live. So I thought that I'd share here. We're doing a Brandon draft. And I think this was like Tommy's idea, maybe, right, for this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think just to do like a Brandon specific episode, and then it kind of became like a draft of stuff that you like. Yeah.
So this is kind of what my idea for the categories was. You can see them all here. So this will be so fun. I'm excited for that episode. There's one moment in this episode that I'm oh boy, this is on the internet, because I just feel so embarrassed about it. So if you want to go see that,
it has brought so much joy this week into our lives.
Yeah, it really has.
It's related to this one right here that I'm circling with the cursor, if you can see that, which is very funny. And I think this will be like a fun episode. Like things got really heated, like in terms of who was picking stuff. And I think that all of our drafts were great. So definitely go check that out this coming Monday on YouTube and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I think Llama Flu said that 32 is a good number. I agree. I think that 32 is perfect.
Yeah, it flowed perfect. That was
yeah, I feel like we were going at a good clip, and it was like the perfect length.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, like in terms of us, we are doing a little road trip this weekend. Heidi planned something for my birthday, which was like a surprise. We're going to cross over the border, stay the night over there, have lots of fun. Heidi has a whole thing planned, which will be great. So stay tuned for that vlog, probably coming, what day? Monday, maybe, potentially?
Monday or Friday.
Yes. And the college program stuff will ramp up, because like I said, it's like 2 weeks, which is insane. So yeah, like I'll do like a packing video, my little pre-haul video, and then I'm traveling down there, which is insane. Can you guys believe that?
No, I feel like you just the other day decided that you were going to apply again this year.
I feel like just the other day we were hanging out in Coronado Springs.
I agree. I'm like, what the heck? This is insane. So a lot of things on the horizon. We're excited about all the stuff. We're excited about the podcast. We love it so much. And thank you guys for doing this with us. Stacy pulled this up and said, Haley, how are you so tan?
I know. It's not fair. It's not fair.
We've been playing a lot of pickleball, and we went golfing one weekend, and then it just stays.
Yeah. She'll be tan until October.
Yeah.
The secret. Oh, look, and Llama Flu says, I need to become more. Yeah. Yes. Let's see. I feel like, though, to be more familiar, I think that I'd have to watch stuff, and I feel like I just lately have had like no time to do anything. So it's
a big
hard.
time. Yeah, it's a big time commitment. Outside of the 9 movies, it's like, oh well, what do you mean I have to watch 10 seasons of an animated television show?
And I also feel like you're traveling at like the Mario star speed right now, until you get down all the way through.
Yeah. So yeah, like I guess that my extent will hopefully be that I'll learn maybe more stuff about like the merch and stuff. Like I think at the end of the program, like I was good with like a lightsaber chat. Like I knew which ones we had. Like I think that I kind of could piece stuff together. So maybe I'll be more kind of like into that zone. And also Tyler wants to know like about our little movie club. We haven't really talked about it because like you said, everything's kind of been going on where like we're gonna have to, I guess, kind of change how the podcast is uploaded, which we share in this episode that like in the summer it'll be twice or I keep saying twice a week.
Every second.
Yes, every second week. But I think that our plan was maybe to review Cars, right? Was the thing that we were going to try to do?
We all agreed that we needed a Cars rewatch before Disneyland. So, like, as far as timing goes, I think that's probably next on our docket.
Yeah, we're definitely always open to suggestions, though. So if there is like one that we could put like further, like not further down the list, but like next on the list, that would be great, I think, because I know we've talked about a couple of different stuff, but we don't really have any direction after Cars.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all that I have to say. Anything for you? I just want to thank everybody for joining us here. We always love these, and I just like appreciate the lives so much. They're so fun, and thanks for hanging out with me on my birthday, I guess, like weekend. And thanks to Haley and Tommy for being here. We just love you guys. Nice to say. Lots of love. I love you guys all down there. I'm in the chat, and we'll see you, I guess. Oh, the plan is also to do one last live before I go next Friday, episode 50. Which is crazy. So, look, we got some votes. Emperor's New Groove and Goofy Movie.
Good.
Those are great votes.
Those are good
well,
votes.
definitely, those will be our next 3 then for sure.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you all very soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.